Hi. Okay. Happy Friday to anyone hopping on. If you're joining me in a happy hour drink, cheers. I hope that everyone has had a great week and is gearing up for a wonderful weekend. I am hopping on here today. I want to talk labels, and I don't mean uh, the labels we give people, or I want to talk looking at your nutrition labels. Now, I'm going to get specific into our supplements, but this actually really truly applies to any label, any food label that you're going to read. It's important to know what to look for and what to avoid. So, if you're hopping on live, let me know. Oh, that's right. I am in Facebook Live. So, I need to pop out the comments. There we go. Uh, Let me know that you're hopping on. Say hi. And if you end up catching the replay, let me know that by typing in replay as you go to watch it. The first question I want to know, if you are joining me live, is do you regularly read your labels? Are you someone that is regularly looking at your labels? Because that's going to give me an idea of kind of, you know, is this something that you already do? And then I can alter, what I say and that kind of thing. Now, if I don't have anyone comment, then I'm just going to go with what I've got planned and we'll go from there. So, as you guys have known, if you have watched any of my other presentations, I do always work off of notes. So if you see me kind of looking around my screen, that is what I am doing, is I am looking at my notes because that's how I function. You can see from you can't see my sweatshirt. My sweatshirt today says mom power. So that mom life is real. That mom brain never goes away after you start having kids. And ironically, yesterday was my firstborn's 9th birthday, hence the balloons in the background. And we've also got family coming tomorrow to celebrate. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. And I hope that this, again, is helpful and educational to all of you. So the first thing I want to talk about is when you are looking at and reading current frame rate. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means either. Guys, technology and me, just not friends. Not friends. Okay, give me a sec. Saying that I need to close tabs, which makes sense. I technician. And if you do join me and you are joining in happy hour with me, please go ahead and I don't know how to do that. Let me know what you're drinking tonight. Uh, okay, we're going to go from here and we're going to pull up comments again. There we go. So I have a top 5 list, especially in my foods that or food-based supplements that I always want to avoid. If these are in it, nope, not touching it, not going to go anywhere near it. Okay. So the first one is titanium dioxide. This can be used in sunscreen. It can also be used in cosmetics, not so much in food, but you could see it. But it's just something that, because I know that it's in other things, it's most commonly used in other things, like I said, cosmetics and sunscreen. However, as you start seeing it in things like that, it does start to sneak into other products. And so it also is something that is approved, but it has to be approved in small amounts. And truly what they're finding is that even in small amounts, over time, it will have side effects in causing allergies and stomach cancer and autoimmune disorders and organ. So if anyone follows me on my personal page, I did a post recently about BPA, which is found in plastics. Well, at the lowest level, that's not technically harmful. But what they found is that over time, continuous exposure to that starts to show up in low levels in the urine and can be toxic. And 20 years ago, the test we were using to test for toxicity wouldn't have picked up the levels that we are finding today, even though they are still considered low enough to not be harmful per se, but we are finding that that's truly not the case. So that is one thing. Another one is magnesium silicate. So this again is an additive. It's mostly in like white coated minerals. It's supplements, vitamins can have it. So this is one that you definitely will see, especially in the lower quality vitamins and supplements. This is the crazy thing. It is similar in composition to asbestos, you guys. So it's not considered talc, okay? is not considered food grade, but it is similar to that. And we know that asbestos can cause lung problems and stomach diseases and all that. So magnesium silicate, definitely something you see on the label. I would avoid it. Another one is any type of hydrogenated oil. Okay, this is typically used as a filler, especially in supplements. It is genetically modified, so it is not organic, and it has been linked to cardiovascular issues, diabetes, nervous system issues, non-absorption. So it actually blocks the absorption of things that we do need, like essential fatty acids. It can increase your LDL or your bad cholesterol, decrease your HDL, your good cholesterol, and that is how it has been linked to coronary artery disease or coronary heart disease. Okay, so any type of hydrogenated oil used as a filler is a no-no. Any type of coloring, artificial dyes, okay, absolutely 100%. That is one of the first things when I started doing all my research into kind of going more natural and things like that. That was one of the first things I started to take out. Any type of foods that have any sort of coloring, artificial coloring, have been removed from my household. Specifically, red 40, blue 2, and yellow 5 are the most dangerous. These have actually been shown to be linked to risks of allergies and DNA damage. Okay. Many times added to supplements to make them more attractive, especially if you have children. Please check your if you are using children's vitamins, please check them. That is where they are most commonly found, and there is they should not be. They should not be in those products, okay? They have also been linked, there have been doctors and scientists that have linked these artificial dyes to children's hyperactive behavior, and they have called on the FDA to ban artificial colors, but it has not yet been banned. Okay. And then the last one for me is artificial flavors. So even natural flavors, if we don't know where those natural flavors I feel better about, anything that says artificial flavors, automatically no. Okay. Typically artificial flavors, especially in supplements, come in the form of high fructose corn syrup, or hydrolyzed vegetable protein, an artificial sweetener of some type. And I'm going to talk about some specifics and just other unnecessary ingredients that you don't need in your vitamins. Okay. And commonly, again, they're most commonly found in your children's vitamins. And the nice thing about our supplements, let's step away for a second, is that I use our supplements for my kids. And the reason I can do that is because it's a capsule. And I can open that capsule and I can pour it into powder, or my older ones can, are good with being able to take pills, but I know not all kids are like that. So I do not use any of the children's vitamins marketed. Now, I cannot recommend that you do that per se, but it would be worth your while to do your research and look into the ingredients of what you are using. Okay, so those are some of my top 5. I don't want to see them. I'm not going to use them if I see them, sort of things. Now, recently, I also did some very specific research into protein or meal replacement shakes. And this is a little bit more specific in the sense that I had no idea how many were on the market. I was flabbergasted by the number. I have a free resource that I'm happy to share. So if you are looking for a resource that looks at and compares, I want to say there's at least 15 different on there. Now, I objectively ordered them. They're in an order from lowest calorie count to highest, and I have vegan versus animal protein. So no bias in that. I just simply put the facts out there so that you can see what's the calorie count, what type of nutrition are you getting it from, things like that. So all of that is on this document. So if that's something that you would like, go ahead and type comparison or compare in the chat, and I'd be happy to send that to you and share that with you. So when looking at the protein shakes, one of the first things that you need to be looking at, or a meal replacement shake, is the starting calorie count. So most of the time, when you're going to use like a meal replacement, you're using it to replace a meal, yes, but many times the powder, people like to add things to it, right? So if you're someone that's going to add some bananas, and maybe you're going to mix it with milk instead of water, and you're going to do all this additional to rather than just powder and water, you need to be aware of what that starting calorie count, because every time you add something to that shake, you're increasing the calorie count of that shake. And so if by chance you're doing this from a weight loss perspective and you're using it and you're not seeing that weight loss, part of that problem could be that the calorie count is too high to begin with. So that's something you want to look at. The other thing that you want to look at is the carb source. So when there are carbohydrates, which in nearly every single protein shake I looked at, I think I can say every single protein shake I looked at, there were carbohydrates. Well, the majority of those carbs should come from fiber. Okay, because that's what your body needs. That's what the gut needs. It's going to help you feel fuller when it comes to using it to, replace a meal. But if those carbs are coming from sugar, especially added sugars, so if it says sugar, you want to make sure, is it natural? Is it sugar from the ingredients, or is it additional added sugar? So you want to differentiate all of that. But for example, a protein shake that has 5 grams of carbs, 4 grams should come from fiber. Like that should be a standard. Or if it's 7, you should have like at least 5. Okay, so as the carb count gets higher, so should the fiber count, and that's something you want to be aware of. And then a lot of times when you are drinking these protein shakes, if you do not have the adequate enzymes to break down the proteins in your body, you are going to have trouble actually extracting the nutrients from the protein shake itself. So some type of proteolytic enzyme, something that's going to help you break down the proteins, is going to be important. There were some that I saw that had enzymes in them, digestive enzymes, which is great, but if it doesn't have specifically a protease, a proteolytic, something that's going to help break down protein specifically, the main nutrient value that you're going for, which is for the proteins, is going to get lost. Your body is not going to do what it needs to do. It's going to struggle to digest it. It could then lead to inflammation. It could lead to other host of issues. You could feel bloated. You could feel gassy. There's a whole host of things that could happen if you're not actually breaking down the protein that you're going for. So making sure that there's a protein enzyme in there helping you to break that down is super important, or that you are taking something to help you break down the protein while you are doing those types of shakes. A couple of red flags I came across specifically related to meal replacement and protein shakes. One was, if you're not able to find the nutrition label, and this isn't just to protein shakes, if you're looking up a supplement and you can't readily find the nutrition facts, that is a red flag. You should not have to search very hard for that. I'm just making sure that this is not, okay, it's still there. Okay, so you should not have to search hard for that. If you are having to search too much for that, that's a red flag, okay? Another one, I found this most commonly in the animal protein-based shakes, is something called Acelflame Potassium. And what it is it's a flavor enhancer. Now, most of the animal protein shakes that I found come from whey protein. That is from cow, okay? So that was where I saw it most commonly, but the negative link to Acelflame Potassium is an altered gut microbiome. If you're doing a meal replacement shake, the last thing you want is to have a bad gut, because you really should be improving your gut with these shakes as you're going along. So that type of enhancer I would avoid. Again, sucralose. So sucralose, yes, yeah. So Ashley said, yeah, no nutritional supplement facts, don't do it. Absolutely. Sucralose, okay, is a chemically modified sugar, okay? It has been so processed that it is 600 times sweeter than sugar. If you see sucralose on the label, run in the opposite direction. Okay? Sucralose, bad. And then finally, maltodextrin. Maltodextrin is, again, if you see maltodextrin in, again, you'll see this in kids stuff. You'll see this in gummies, anything that's like a gummy vitamin, anything like that. Maltodextrin is an intensely processed carb, also linked to altering gut bacteria. So if you, again, are trying to improve your gut health, having something that has maltodextrin in it is actually going to be counterproductive to the goals that you have. Okay? One last thing I want to talk about when it comes to ingredients is when you are looking at the vitamins and minerals. Okay, you have heard us say this. You want your vitamins to be plant-based. You want them to be food-based. You want it to be listed where the source is. If it just says vitamin A and there's no source, it is likely synthetic. If it says vitamin A and it says palmitate, that is synthetic. If it says vitamin A and it says 50% palmitate, 50% spore, comment like where you'll find it, or cod liver, that you're getting better, because at least 50% of it is some type of food, right? You want to know the sourcing of every type of vitamin and mineral that you have. Again, if it has minerals, you want them to be chelated. You've probably heard us talking about this before. Chelated minerals are going to be more readily absorbed by your body than any other form of mineral, and your body has the hardest time digesting minerals and utilizing them appropriately. So giving your body that of, hey, I already helped you. This is easier for you to digest. This is easier for you to know what to do with. That's going to be super helpful. Okay, that's going to make it easier on your body to do all of the things. The other thing that you want to make sure that you are looking for is the number of other ingredients. So your other ingredients should be, I like to say, 5 or less, okay? Now, I know specifically that if you pull up our collagen has 7, okay? But here's the thing. The top 2 other ingredients are the collagen peptides themselves, which is the product, and water. So in that sense, when I'm looking at something like that, I'm like, those top 2, that's what I'm going for. Water and collagen peptides, I'm okay. So the rest of it is 5 or less, and that is what I would feel comfortable with. So your other ingredients should always be at 5 or less in the list. If you start getting past that, there's a lot of additional additives and fillers that you just don't need. And so that's really what you're going for there. So a couple other specific ingredients that I would like you to just point out and make sure that you understand what they are. A lot of times people will say, well, if you can't pronounce it, don't use it. Well, that's not always the case, because some of the things that are really good for you are hard to pronounce and look funny. But if you look them up, you'll know what they are. And once you know what they are, you're okay. So one of the things I have come across a lot more frequently has been microcrystalline cellulose, and this is refined wood pulp. If I see wood pulp in my product, I'm probably going to look for something that doesn't have wood pulp in it. It's used as a bulking agent, an extender, an emulsifier, not something that I necessarily feel great about putting into my body, okay? Another one, let me take a look here. We already talked about maltodextrin, so I brought that up. Any type of artificial dyes, so FD&C blue 1, FD&C yellow 6, red 40, yellow 5, red 3, blue 1, like any of these, they've been linked to allergies, they've been linked to cancer, they've been linked to so many disorders that I avoid coloring at all costs. Titanium dioxide, that was something that I talked about in the beginning. It has actually been in the World Health Organization's International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC. Titanium dioxide is a possible carcinogen for humans, yet we find this in some of our products. In 2017, the French government's scientific assessment found that titanium dioxide is a carcinogen when it's inhaled. So the fact that this should just bottom line not be in our products, period. Okay, so those are my big things when it comes to looking at your labels. I'm going to just take a look at the comments here. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone have anything? Okay, those 2 sweeteners are the common reason most people feel bloated after a whey protein shake. Yeah, so it's not truly the whey. Now, if you have, if you're, someone who's sensitive to dairy, you will feel that too, especially with whey. But yes, because of those additives in those protein shakes, you're going to feel bloated and uneasy, and your gut's not going to feel great because they're gut modifiers. They're bad for the gut, and so it's disrupting, what the positive you're trying to get from it. So I hope that this was helpful. I'd love to get your thoughts. Remember, if you want any type of comparison charts, like the, like if you would like okay, I'm excited. If you want the protein shake comparison, let me know. I will be happy to send that to you, and happy weekend to all of you.